He opens the door and she gushes in with a gush of ghostly breeze. He feels the breeze but does not see her coming in. That's why he got confused and wonders what has happened and asks if a ghost has come in inside the house now. You see, dramatically, this is very powerful. The monologue predicts what the ghost coming in, and his actions are actually mimicking the dance. And actually, right there, he says, then finally, he says, oh, maybe that's nothing. It's my friends making a prank on me. And then he's serious and said that don't make such a prank in the middle of light because it kills. It's very dangerous. So it is actually a way of foretelling the drama that he is going to get killed. So with aria 3 and speech 3, Yan Poxi announces who she is, and then, of course, he gets frightened, but then, like a coward, he tries to run away, and she chases after him. So this is a lot of fun seeing a woman, a ghost, and a coward man running circles on stage. So let me show you that one. I think you'll like it. I'm sure about 2 minutes of this because it really needs a little bit continuity.
农家，你看我上班那阿妹家满到40个人呢，你加上一件蓝44个特子的来着。
So he's speaking in a Suzhou dialect, so extremely kind of vulgar and kind of. So they said, well, whatever goes on, let me get some advantage in touching her already. So this is really. So no, it's nothing. Something's wrong. It's muddy. So who are you, lady? And come to my house in the middle of the night. So you really forgotten my voice? That is a man calling the man's name. Isn't that sexy? So you are Yan Poxi. So don't come close. Get away. Now looking at this is absolutely fine. Now this is pure theater. So I'm going to show you one more clip just to save time. So a little bit 5 minutes later, then after quite a few more rounds of chase, and he tries to force her away by using some Taoist magic. So it's real fun. Now I'm going to show you that. This is pure comedy. Don't move. Once more, real effort this time. So that is a strong ghost of a woman, okay? Nothing you can do about it. So now let me go to the second part. We saw the more comical part. Now we saw the more move on to the more ghostly and deadly part, an erotic part. Okay, so I'll skip it a little bit and let me quiet. Oops. Yeah. Okay, so after all these comical and interactions, so in Aria 6, he asks, talking about this and that, so suddenly Zhang Wenyuan asks, oh, I'm talking with you so much, I'm getting thirsty. So ask for a cup of tea. And that is the key because that's how he seduced her in the first place. So then saying that, oh my God, talking about tea, now I remember how I seduced you or you seduced me by asking the cup of tea. Now, so with that trigger, they sing on Zhang Wenyuan and make them asking. He asks her, "Do you remember how we first got started?" And then she says, "Of course." And they detail their seduction and then how they're lovemaking. So later on, I'll show you the clips. And then moving on a little bit later, then uh, Yan Poxi, of course, says, "Of course, I remember everything," and then tells him that, of course, I did all this for you, but in the end, I'm the one who paid for the pleasure because I got killed and you're still living. So why don't we continue and go to hell? And then Zhang Wenyuan being a little bit dumb-witted, so he did not really catch the thread. But of course, at that point, he was totally aroused and did not see anything but what he wants. So he missed this. So that goes on the next dance and aria when she soothes her, comforts her while strangling him. Yeah. So it is extremely juicy and fun to watch. So now let's see that because I'm sure you want to see it rather than listen for me to talk about it. So let's go see the love dance. You know what that is? That's choking. Oh yeah. So what are you thinking?
No.
I'm thinking about our love making. Now, isn't that sexy? So she's strangling him already. So I'm thirsty now. So now I'm going to move on. So I'm going to move to the clip, the second, what I call love and macabre dance. So he tells him that, oh, I cried for your death for 3 days and 3 nights. I'm so sad. I still miss you. And he said, oh, I'm sorry, my lover. And then try to soothe him, but at the same time killing him. So I'm going to show you that macabre dance. So right here. I'll show you about 2 minutes so that you get the good pick of it. Now, I cannot show you this because suddenly you notice his face is blackened because he's half dead by this time. And her dress, cannot show you too much. And some point before this dance, changed from black to red. Yeah. So when I heard about your death, I cried 3 days and 3 nights. Oh, my poor lover. Now, try to keep the beat, and you see how it gets accelerated. It's very dramatic. You know what the erg is about? It's very rhythmic and structural. It's faster now, the tempo. Now, pay real attention for the next 20 seconds. I'm not going to tell you what happened. That's Sanlang again. That's the most scary call for Manson. Okay, so I have one more clip to show you, but let me go back. So actually, I don't need to go to the slide now. So let me wrap this up by summarizing some interpretations we can do. Now that we have an idea how the script and performance of Captured Alive unfold, we can answer our questions with the following 5 summary interpretations. First, we can observe that the show masks its eroticism or even pornography with the most literary and opaque lyrics. Due to the limitation of time, I will not do a word-by-word analysis of the script, but I can assure you that unless you have a PhD in Chinese literature or history or with help of David, you are not going to find out what it means. But if you find it out, it's extremely sexy. So that goes with most of the arias, especially aria 2 and 6. And so the second observation we can make is that the adulterer and adulteress of Zhang Wenyuan and Yan Poxi are characterized as negative others in Chinese discourse, because by characterizing them as negative others, their challenge to Confucian and moral China can be defanged. They are all dead, and they are punished, right? So it is in this discursive and representational strategy that allows the staging of Zhang Wenyuan and Yan Poxi. And as staged, as we can see, Zhang is a clownish, coward Lothario, and he's impotent. He can't even chase a ghost away. And Yan Poxi chases him up all around. And he's dumb-witted. He can tell a woman is coming to kill him. Finally, in the end, he gets manipulated like a puppet. So it is a very bad image representation of Chinese men. Chinese people are very fair, so they don't exactly represent adulteresses that well. So at stage, Yan Poxi is a ghost and a woman. She is deceitful and scary. She seduces Zhang with sweet words and beautiful face and lies about her intention. She is really a man manipulator, but she can only do it as a ghost. On earth, in traditional China, men are on top of women. Well, in hell, well, that's another story, and you can tell. So this is actually a very important reference because it's a poignant to a sad and horrible chapter of Chinese history. In late Ming and Qing China, many women could only protest against abusive men or assert their feminine agency by committing suicide. Once dead, they become powerful, and this is perhaps why some strong Chinese women performer and audience they like captured alive. But it is clear that this show is a very ambiguous and double-edged story about Chinese gender and values. The third interpretation we can make is that Capture Alive is a very classy and smart sex show, one that teases with forbidden foods with an elitist facade of art and classicism. But underneath it is pity pornography, and if you say dirty, you can say it. And this is why the show can escape censorship for so many years. And actually, if you really watch it carefully, and you can see that it is as sexually explicit as any Kunqu performance can be. Because you have to realize that, unlike contemporary movies on theaters, which shows everything including genitals, Kunqu does not do that. Kunqu actors don't even kiss on stage, but they can still tell the erotic shows. So, but if you really watch it and then you say, wow, there is something extremely sexy there. So it is, and there is a good reason for it. Because if you watch the performance by Liang Guyin and Liu closely, you see some realistic mimicking of intimate gazes and physical touching. That is explicitly erotic, and there's a reason for it. And we can learn why. Liang Guyin has reported that she was most impressed by the Hollywood movie Ghost, and in particular the scene when the ghost of man played by Kurt Russell and the living woman played by Demi Moore play intimately acting while she as a woman was making the pottery and he as a ghost kind of touching her. So that what she finds most erotic and interesting. So when she recreated this Capture Alive, she used a lot of those movements. So everything is suggestive, but it is there, and it's for you to figure it out. So now, let me quickly go to make this point and then wrap up. So those are the 5 interpretations. But what I really want to show you punch this line is that if you watch the show again and again, what makes the show most sensually exciting, if not chilling, is really the music. It is in particular prominently performed by Yan Poxi's 6 seductive calls, calling his name Sanlang. And because every time you listen to it, it's the same Sanlang, almost meaningless as in semitical discourse, but just the sound of it and the intonation, the rhythm, the intensity that she calls it makes it very, very meaningful. She is expressing Chinese lust in a way that no words or action can do. So let's see it and see if you agree with me. Okay? Let me go find. Oops. So, okay. Oh, what's this? Oh, yeah, of course. So this is the first call. She comes to the door and begs, let me in. I'm your lover. Isn't it wonderful to have this? Let me knock at the door. So you hear it's a little bit tentative and not very aggressive, and can't explain now. The second one, this one she is at the door, but the third one, let me see the third one. This one, she right after she has frightened Zhang Wenyuan, she tried to calm her down and say, "Oh, come on, don't be too afraid." So don't blame me. Go get. Right? So that is important. Now, this one, I'll let you hear it and then I'll say it. So at that point, she has become a beautiful ghost and trying to get his affection again. So that is a little bit more affection now. Then, of course, the last one, this one you can hear. So that's the jumping the death. Okay. Yeah. So that is a cry that's murderous at the same time with love. So how can you do that on? So let me conclude this, wrap it up. So if you listen and view Capture Alive, you really see a lot of very powerful expression of dance and music and sing. Especially if you listen to Yan Poxi's seductive calls, and it's for many, if that seductive call rings in your head, then they do so for a musical reason. The calls are sonically unmistakable. As such, they underscore the distinctive and virtuoso artistry with which Kunqu artists perform Chinese adulterers and adulteresses. With dramatic words, suggestive acting and dancing, and evocative music, they bring the adulterous world of China alive on stage. Their performance is multimedia and multivalent. It shows pleasure and pain, crime and punishment. It entertains as well as warns audience about lust in the heart or acts. So no impressionable or sensitive audience can watch a Captured Alive and feel nothing about human emotions, desires, and anxiety. And this is why I will argue the show is a masterpiece, and a particularly multivalent and multimedia masterpiece that is a must-see, because if you see it again and again, you will learn what it tells you, and perhaps you can get a hint, a touch, a skill to be adulterous or not adulterous. So that's the end of my class. So, questions?
Maybe you can let it run silently while you read the questions. Does that make?
Oh yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Just kill the sound.
Yeah. Oh! I forgot to show you the puppets, the puppeting, of course. Oops. Oop. This is a ghost jump. Another. It rings in your ear. Huh?
I think it's dubbed.
Yeah. That's a very good show of man puppet. So I'll go back and so you can see this. Yeah. As David wants. Oh, the chasing part is fun. I'll just show that.
你最爱看哪？
Well, you want to talk or you want to watch? Up to you. Yeah.
There's an overwhelming use of the color blue in there. Can you tell me what that implies? How it magnetizes the characters?
That I think maybe we can interpret there's some meaning in it, but I tend to think that this is just happened to be a blue backdrop at this time. But his dress is blue, so that's more man color. So but the backdrop blue, I think it just happened to be that one. Okay. Yes.
You mentioned it didn't get censored, but that skips the PRC. Of 26 nationally censored plays, it was among the 26.
Yeah, yeah.
And of course, they're thinking primarily the Peking opera version, but
Yeah.
the content is the same.
Yeah, so it's always censored and restored. Even now, Liang Guyin, this show they've done it for about 20 years and has been very popular. But then, at some time, they see that people like it, but at the same time, they're a little bit uneasy about doing this show. So it's very interesting that Liang Guyin is a very important master performer. So she talks about many of her shows or her legacy, but she skips this one. Yeah, so, but I think it's one of her best shows. Yeah, because also she is known as a very kind of strong woman type of performer. So she deliberately kind of suppressed this a little bit, but her whole career is made for her, and she made a lot of money doing this show. Yeah.
I'm curious about the body movement and the dance in the Kunqu.
Yeah.
Is it unique in the Chinese opera, or is kind of similar to the Peking opera?
This Kunqu is called the mother of Chinese opera. So everything beautiful and good is supposed to come from Peking opera. I mean, Peking from Kunqu, because Kunqu is 600 years old, and with basically 300 years in the mid Qing, the late Qing, with so many artists and performers, dedicated professionals. So every movement is totally developed. So if you compare different versions of this, you can see many of dancers are very traditional, very codified. But then how they do it is still very creative. So you can say that all the dance movements, even including this Taoist ritual thing, everything is codified. So Peking opera compared to Kunqu is a baby. Nothing Peking opera. I know David would argue with me, but anything Peking opera does and does well, they learn it from Kunqu. Okay, we'll fight later.
You could say the ratio of movements per word is higher, way higher in Kunqu
Yeah.
than any other style.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
How did this woman die in the story?
And then Yan Poxi.
She was killed by
Yeah, by her husband. Yeah. No.
But not for the adultery.
No. Yeah, but it is in this show does not show the murdering, so it's after the murder. Yeah. So she is killed for being not faithful and blackmailing the husband, and the husband in the anger kills her. Yeah.
I'm wondering, are there any reception studies on this show? For instance, are there any evidence showing the reaction of the viewers in the past, like after they view the show, what they feel, and then did they ever record it in any, say, any form of writings in the past? Have you found anything like that?
Well, that's the part I need to develop more. But modern reaction, there are a lot of blogs on website. Then people watch the Liang Guyin and say they tend to talk about it. And they always, after a little bit about the art, they will all go into these moral issues. So the basic question is, do you think it's justifiable for Liang Guyin, for the Yan Poxi, the ghost, to strangle the man and take him to hell? So people talk about those things a lot. How in Ming and Qing people actually did about it, I have some material, but I haven't really studied them. Yeah, but good question. I'll check it out for you. Because it's very subversive and provocative. Yeah. Any other questions? Yes, Megan.
You, in the earlier part of your talk, you used the plural adulterers and adulteresses, and I
wondered how common this kind of story is in Kunqu, like to have adultery as the topic.
Not that common, but let me tell you, Kunqu is most sexy. Because layman layman is the period when this genre developed. It's all about very elite and privileged men with lots of money, nothing much to do. So all they do is try to have a good life, and a good life always involves woman and this, and a lot of stories between handsome young men looking for love and this and that. So Kunqu is extremely romantic and sexy genre. Yeah.
The
So
Panjin story is a good contrast.
yeah,
That goes in entirely different direction.
yeah. The Panjin is so there are two very famous adulteresses in China. So one is Panjin and this Yan Poxi. There are a couple more, but those two are really powerful. Yeah, very legendary, and I mean you can ask Chinese men, they all yeah.
What's an alchemy for people that I assume weren't Christian at that time?
Hell. P.U. What's the conception of hell?
The hell. Oh, okay. Well, that's basically the Buddhist hell, not Christian hell. It's a Buddhist hell. So because China has been Buddhist for many years, since maybe the 4th century, 6th century. So it's a Buddhist hell. So if you go there, you have to go down to 18 levels of hell. One more torturous than the other. So it depends how much adultery, how bad it was, and it can be. Yeah, if you want to go there, those horror and gore, you can go into it. Yes.
I wonder if this story is also rendered in other Chinese local opera genres, or only by Kunqu.
When the other opera what?
For example, there are many different kinds of opera.
Yeah.
Like Beijing opera,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe even
Yeah.
Berlin opera.
Uh-huh.
I wonder if those operas also choose this story to put it on stage.
Yeah.
They all do it.
They all the major genres, they have some version of this. So Peking opera, Cantonese opera, I think the Shanghai opera, and then of course the Sichuan Yue Bang Zixi, they all have this. It's a very, very popular story because the story after all comes from Shui Hu Zhuan. So everyone knows Shui Hu Zhuan. Yeah, everyone knows those.
But still, those are censored.
Yeah, they're all censored. Yeah.
They're not now, no longer now, right?
Some are still censored. It depends it depends what they do, how explicit they are. But Kunqu is, because it's so done so in such a covered up way, so people may not even know what the sex is about. So
Clothes come off.
yeah, but some other local genres, then when it's really common, they can be really vulgar. That can be, I would not be surprised someone can do a strip and tease show on it. It's possible. Yeah.
This is more subtle.
Kunqu is very, very subtle. Yeah. That's why it can get away with murder. Yeah.
You have presented this as partly a discourse on morality,
Yeah.
reflecting on morality of the time. I wonder if anywhere in this presentation there is something about the husband. Is it okay that he killed his wife because she was an adulteress? Or is that just left out? Is it implied that it was okay? She doesn't seem to mind that her husband killed her.
Doesn't go after the husband.
Yeah. So
is there a statement there about legitimacy of?
yeah, there are different versions because it's a good show. The gist is always there, but then if you really want to go back to the great debate on dramatic form of the debate, you have to go back to the Shui Hu Zhuan, the big saga, the novel. But if you want to see independent show, the dialogues always get changed. So some version of this show can be 20 minutes, some can be 30 minutes. So whatever they say can come out. But I don't think right now they're too concerned about the husband, because there is a lot of good talks and things promoting Song Jiang as the really good hero, and nothing but good, But in this show, it's really Yan Poxi's show, so they focus on her much more. But I would not be surprised that in some version then they can make some comment and say that, wow, you're so bad, Yan Poxi, that's why you got killed. That's not possible. But I would say as this show, there are actually 5 scenes that tells the whole story. This is only the one scene about it. Then you can find a little bit more about the judgment. So, but this, on the whole, this series show is a little bit more for the women. Somehow elevate the agency of the, of the woman a little bit more than the man. The man is kind of caricatures and clownish and coward and thing. Yeah. So that's why women like this thing, like this show. They love to do this and see it. And men, you know, yeah. Well, that's a good question. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Mhm.
I just wonder how do people see originality in this show at that time? Or do they see there's any, or do they have any say over this recreation thing? And another question is how did this theatrical performance itself translated to the history? You know, there was a book about the text, things can easily transmit, but how about the performance itself, the movement, the costume?
You have to come to my course for that. I can answer in that because you're asking very important but big questions. But the big thing is how the Chinese performance arts transform from written script to performance. That's extremely creative and complex development process, and it can go back and forth. And so how each performance gets performed is again a lot of reasons. So I cannot answer your question in detail, but if you come to more course, I'll tell you. You have to write many long papers on that. Yeah, that's good. Well, yeah, David.
The business of her calling his name,
Mm.
I would associate that with drawing the spirit out of his body.
Yeah.
Almost the reverse of in Peony Pavilion, where he draws her spirit out of the painting.
Yeah.
So the important part of the calling function within this play.
So that calling, actually, you can analyze it from many points of view, from performance, from sound point of view, as from ritual and Taoism. How do you call? Because you see, in Chinese, David mentioned now is the zhao hun. How do you get person to call the person's soul out? So that is.
Well, there you're trying to get the soul in the body, and then put him in the tomb.
So all these. So if you watch this so carefully from a ritual point of view, there are all these, Chinese ritual and understandings and stereotypes of ghosts. So like ghosts, they on stage, when they walk, they do not walk steps. They kind of glide. So that's how she comes on stage. It's gliding. It's very beautiful to watch it. And then when they really walk, they don't really walk, they jump. That's why in the end you saw it. So there are all these stereotypical understanding of how a ghost would walk or move on earth. And all these things, it really can go, stand a lot of very in-depth analysis of every step and movement because they're all there. Right? Well, thank you. So.